Hey, I've been wanting to do this video for a while now, just because I've seen this quite a bit on cards. See all this little buildup of dirty fingers touching the cards all over the corners, and I just wanted to show you how to do that. And you only need about 3 things. I use one of these sponges, the scratchy side, and then a less scratchy side, I guess. Towel, a little bit of soap, and some water. And you can see I got a little bit of soap and a little bit of water on there already, but I've already squished out most of the soap so that there's just barely any in there, as you can see, and a lot of the water's out too. And you want that to be close to dry, but so that there's still soap coming out. And then I'll show you after that what to do. Alright, now that you've got your scrubber just barely wet and a little tiny bit of dish soap, I'm trying to take it around the edges just very, very softly and see what we can get off this. I don't have a very good angle, but I can do it before and after. So I'll start with this side right here, and I'm just going to be I'll actually rotate it this way, and I'll be barely scrubbing it until a little bit comes off. And if nothing comes off, then I'll push it down just enough so that this blue is touching, but just barely touching, because we don't want to ruin the edge of the card, and we don't want to get any water in that edge right along the side there, because then it'll wrinkle the card. So let's take a look back at it after I lightly scrub it. So you'll notice I scrubbed it a little bit and I got some of it off, but there's still quite a bit on there, so I'm gonna have to go a little bit stronger. So this time I'm gonna press down just enough. Let's see if I can get you to see this here. Just enough so that this corner right here is barely touching. You also want to make sure there's some soap still coming out. As you can see, I do have a little bit of soap still coming out as you're scratching that edge. So look a little bit like this. I'm just going to be doing that up and down the card until all these little spots are gone. Alright, I'm pretty much done with this side. I don't want to do too much more than this. But it does look pretty good. The only spot that has a little bit is that corner there, but I am a little nervous about it. I don't know if I actually want to scrub that much or just leave it with a couple little tiny specks on it. Another thing that you should know is after each one of these scrubbings, you have a little bit of soap or water residue. You want to immediately dry it off with a rag, and that's why I have a rag right here sitting beside me. Just so none of that water soaks into the card. So almost immediately after you've scrubbed the corners, I'm going to do it on this side too, and the bottom, then you'll want to dry it off pretty much immediately after you've scrubbed it. Make sure you're not scrubbing too hard, or some of the card will come off, so you've got to do it just light enough that the scratching will only take off this extra residue here. So here is the bottom of the card. I'm going to try and at least show you how I've been doing this. So I'm going to get just the soft sponge part on it at first. Scrub it until some of it starts to fade away, and you can see already some of it is fading away. I'm not doing it too terribly hard. I'm just kind of rubbing the sponge up across the top of it. But there is a little bit of soap residue that you can see. Sorry, my cat's being a little asshole right now. There's a little bit of soap residue, and you do want to wipe that off on the front and the back. Let's make sure there's not any here either. Get that cleaned off before we put the card back on there. You really want to be careful with this card. It's one of my favorites. And there is a little bit left, so you can see right here there's a few more specks. So that's why I'm going to use the dark blue part. I'm going to barely get it just on the edge there. So there's even a little bit of sponge still touching the card. And then I'm just ever so gently going to scratch back and forth using my fingernail until those little pieces fade away. It's pretty good for the purposes of the video anyways. Check that out. I'll dry it off real quick. Give you another quick peek of what it looks like on the bottom now. Then do that corner again. The corners scare me a little bit. You can see those big chunks are gone. I haven't gone to that yet, obviously, but it's a good comparison to what it looked like before. Something like that versus this. Much better condition. The cool thing is you can get, if you find cards that just have that carbon on the outside, and you can fix it by just cleaning it off, you can get them for a much better deal. This one does have a little crease in it right there. It's easier to see on the back of the card, but I got this one for way cheaper than they're going for right now. So, yeah, hopefully that helps. I'm going to finish the rest of the video, and maybe I'll take another quick shot of it before we go, just so that you can see the whole card from beginning to end. Okay, let's give you a look at the finished product. If the camera would actually, there we go. All that's gone down there. There's a little bit you can still see right there. Not too bad, just, I mean, on the camera you can see it better than in real life. I did get that corner, but, oh, and those pieces, those little chunks were already there. That wasn't from me scrubbing it, just so you know. But I would recommend you do this on some cards that are less valuable before you do it on anything that you're worried about. Until you're feeling really, really comfortable with how your cards are turning out. You can even make a couple mistakes and not feel too bad about it when you're working on a common or an uncommon card that you really don't care about. But anyways, that's it. Hopefully that's helpful, and hopefully you find the same results that I've been finding. Yeah, so good luck.